Oh,
Whoa! Hey! All right. Well, welcome to the R&R Show. Sit back and relax and enjoy the best little sports show ever. I'm your host, Michael Roope, and this is my co-host, William Rumsey. Hello, William.
howdy.
All right. Well, it's good to have William back in the fold. I know there's been a lot of questions, lots of murmurs amongst everyone. I mean, what's going on with the R&R? Is there a fracture in the relationship? And we're here to just squash any of the rumors. Everything is going great, is it not, William?
I got a lot of texts. Is Mike mad at you? No, I got a little busy with work and real estate stuff, and I had to take a step back. But now that our beloved Bengals are back in the fold, I feel like I got to go, support and talk about the
absolutely.
game.
So, everybody, fear not. William and I will be, pounding the Bengal pavement all year long. So, we thought it was, an opportunity to talk with the Bengals back in action tomorrow. We wanted to talk a little bit about the lead up to the game and, what our thoughts are going into the season. First and foremost, I think on everybody's mind is one Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's had quite a few drops, William. Going into the coming up to the first game of the year, and are you worried?
A little bit. I mean, you have to be, but I mean, he's got a chance to prove. It's just been preseason jitters. Tomorrow goes feet to the fire. I'm sure they're going to put him out there first drive of the game. I read an article yesterday said that we really shouldn't be worried yet. They talked about Troy Williamson. You remember he was drafted by the Vikings? Apparently, he had a real bad, they sent him to the doctor. He had depth perception problems. They changed lighting in the stadium for practice, and they just said it was a fiasco.
Oh,
so
wow.
Until that stuff starts
I don't want to see any of that.
Yeah, so that stuff starts coming out, then I think Jamar Chase, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Didn't play last year. So he's getting the rust off. It may take him a couple games to get acclimated.
Well, I will tell you this. He comes into, after being drafted by the Bengals, stating he's going to break all these records. He might want to learn how to catch the damn ball if he wants to break a couple records.
I mentioned that the other day. I said, that just didn't help matters. That put a lot of pressure on him.
Yep.
Even the preseason pass from Burrow to Chase, that was the easiest pass that he could have, and he missed it.
It's in his head.
Yeah.
And then he came out recently stating, well, the Pro Bowl, the pro football is a little different. I don't even want to start going to hearing those excuses. You're drafted as a lottery pick. You better damn well perform.
I did learn something this week, that the NFL ball is actually a little bit bigger than the NCAA. Didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Okay. I will tell you this. There's been many experiments with footballs through the years. Everybody thinks they have a great idea. I will tell you, my former coach, Rod Ballard, a.k.a. Rod Sickle. He actually, my junior year, he had neoned the ball, put neon stripes on where the seams were, so it would light up like it would just.
That's cool.
Yeah, so, there's always different ways to kind of, manufacture, obviously the infamous Tom Brady deflate gate. People like balls certain ways, and you know what? I just don't want to hear the excuses.
No. So now we move on from Jamar Chase. Our next biggest, not worry, concern. We want to see Joe Burrow on the field to see, we chatted yesterday about the fact I thought he should have at least played a half in a preseason game just to get acclimated to the speed of the, reacclimated to the speed of the game. That obviously didn't happen. We talked about if there was an injury, Bengal Nation would be pissed off about that. But the good thing is I think this is a good matchup for Burrow. I don't think the Vikings defense is.
He should be able, if he's going to carve a defense up, it better be this one.
Yeah.
Now, we had talked earlier about the schedule. Schedule sets up nice early, so at least we have an opportunity to have him get more acclimated again and, have some good games before the meat of the schedule at the back end. But like you had said, we're worried because he hasn't had any game action since the knee. So I don't want to hear it if the Bengals lose. I don't want to hear Lapham on Bengals talk. Well, he did. Well, you know what? He didn't get acclimated because Zach Taylor didn't let him get acclimated.
Right,
so I don't want to hear any of that. I don't want to hear excuses this year. You either perform or you don't. So I don't want to hear from Jamar. I don't want to hear from Joe. I don't want to hear from anybody. You're paid to do a job, and they best damn well do it starting tomorrow.
And I think again, go back. The Vikings defense is supposed to be improved. It wasn't very good last year. It's supposed to be improved. I'm anxious to see how the offensive line protects.
Yeah.
Interesting. Riley Rife, our new right tackle,
yep.
Going against his former team. So Zimmer and that defensive coordinator, they know his strengths. They know his weaknesses. He's actually going up against Daniel Hunter.
Yep.
I don't know what kind of year he had last year, but I know a couple years he had a lot of sacks. So it'll be interesting to see how he matches up because, with Burrow's probably going to be a little bit less mobile than he was before his injury last year.
Yeah, that makes me sad.
Yeah, because that was a big piece of his game.
Yep.
But, I think his pinpoint accuracy will still be there. But I'm anxious to see that how the offensive line gels.
So let me ask you this: right out of the gate, let's just say the Bengals are driving. Let's just say they're at the 30-yard line, going in to score. We got a key third down, 3rd and 7. Do you think Joe Burrow hesitates to go to Jamar Chase, or do you think he wants to go off the bat to something more secure? That he feels that has got his head on.
I think he's good enough to go through his progressions. He's going to throw. If that player is out there on the field, if a receiver is out there, go through his progressions, whatever he thinks is the best pass.
So you don't think if Jamar is the progression that he thinks is the best matchup, do you think he'll hesitate to go to Jamar?
I don't.
So it basically then gets on Jamar.
Yes.
So if you either make that catch, but what if he drops that first ball?
Then all bets are off.
Okay. All right. Well, listen. This thing could snowball real quick.
Oh,
it could snowball real quick because then if you get a rookie and you hear the boo birds early, this could get ugly real quick, and then more of the excuses come on.
But the good thing for the Bengals, in my opinion, you have Tyler Boyd, you have T. Higgins, 2 other very good receivers. He had a report last year. I'm actually anxious to see how he does with CJ.
Yeah, he likes CJ.
He did. Last year he built a really good report. So, Chase isn't the only, receiver there that he can throw to and trust. So, but like you said, Jamar drops that first one. The
big birds will come out because if Cincinnati's anything, even as a small market team, their sports talk radio is one of the bigger things in the country in Cincinnati with that 700 WLW flamethrower.
Yeah.
I mean, you get off to a bad start. I mean, the switch.
But if he drops one, I just don't think they're going to yank him from the game. So
they're not going to yank him from the game. They're going to yank him.
Will go. Yeah, they'll go to him. I mean, now if he drops 2 passes, then I don't know. I mean, he dropped 3 passes in that one
game, and then the one right out of the gate. And they're like, well, I don't know what we do at this point. So I don't know what the practices looked like. I don't know since that game. Has he still had the drops? I haven't heard really too much about it, but I will tell you this. If he gets off to a bad start, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. Then he's going to quickly go down to the 3rd option. Right. I think then if he starts off with 2 drops, like we were talking about, I think he quickly then will look to Higgins and Boyd before him.
And, it doesn't help the fact the last wide receiver that we took pretty high just was terrible.
Yeah.
John Ross. I mean, I mentioned his name the other day, and you're like, I don't.
There's no comparison. I mean, Ross didn't have the resume Chase did, and I will say this. I mean, it is a little bit. He is rusty. I mean, he's just rusty.
Yeah,
you take a year off, and we talked about we used like Le'Veon Bell as an example when he took that year off. He never was the same. Now, I hope that Jamar is young enough; he can be the same.
Sewell, the guy at Pinay Sewell, he was struggling in the preseason too. He took all year off last year. So
and they said the 2 first-round picks that looked the worst was Sewell and Chase. So no matter what, you get bungalized even if you're thinking about coming here.
Man. Well, and then so to switch gears now, we talked about the offensive line, Chase, Burrow. the Bengals defense.
Yep.
The Vikings have some superstars on these. Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson. Adam Thielen's been good. I think he's getting a little long in the tooth. Kirk Cousins, he's been, up and down. But the defense, they've pumped a lot of money into that defense over the last 2 years. They spent a lot of draft capital. This is a game I feel like, let's just be honest, the Bengals offense probably will come off a little slow.
Yeah.
So it would behoove the Bengals defense to give them a turnover, some big stops, something. So what do you think about the Bengals
defensively? I think we're good on the line. I think we got some of those D tackles coming back. I think that's going to be key because I tell you right now, if Dalvin Cook gets off early, it's going to be a long day because Kirk Cousins, he loves to play action, and we're going to get tortured by JJ down the field. But that being said, I think, and I really hope that they can contain Dalvin early, because the worst thing that can happen is if they start getting gashed early, because then that thing's just going to snowball.
Yeah.
But if you contain him early, Kirk is prone to making mistakes. But I mean, if the run game's good, then everything else looks good because Kirk looks good. Every quarterback will look good if you have a good run game because then play action fake. It's just it's there, and they've got stud receivers to make them look good, and selling the runs, and then it'd be a pass. But that being said, I think the Bengals defense they'll surprise us a little bit this year.
I'm anxious to see Trey Hendrickson. The big offseason signing.
And Reader coming back. Yeah, I mean, that was a big sign.
Hubbard got the new big contract. The one player I'm really interested to see, too, that's been getting a lot of pub for the Bengals and their practices, and Logan Wilson.
Yep.
I mean, I read an article today, talked about people within the organization who really thinks is going to take the next step. It's Logan Wilson. So he'll probably be matched up sometimes with Dalvin Cook, so that'll be an interesting matchup to see. They really, they say he's going to be the next really good linebacker for the Bengals. We hope. We haven't.
Was there any before that?
Taquio?
Yeah. I mean, that linebacking position's been an abyss for the Bengals. And we had talked about, we're jumping ahead here a little bit, but next year they better just spend their whole draft basically drafting offensive linemen and some linebackers because they've really got a nice core of skill positions, back end, and front line. I think they got the good mix. They got to do some fillers, and then I think they will take that next step next year.
Yeah, they've pumped a lot of money into the secondary too. You've got the two free agent signings on both sides. The cornerbacks. Their free agent signing last year, Trey Waynes, he didn't play a snap last year. He's actually out again this week. So like I said, I hope because I think the Bengals offense will start off slow. Could be wrong, but I think the defense needs to help them out.
I do like that. Burrow gets the opportunity to obviously his first game back playing at home. That's key. Obviously, the crowd will be behind them. He won't have to deal with the noise. I mean, not that'll he's a professional, right. So that won't but that's just a little extra, But on the flip side, if Jamar gets off to a rough start, being at home it's going to be rough. So, but we'll see. I'm excited. What do you think about the kicker?
Good. Great.
Okay.
I mean,
are you glad we got rid of Fat Randy?
Randy's gone.
Fat Randy's gone, everybody.
But hey, that's a good point. I mean, he's a rookie kicker. So, I mean, the Vikings are favored by 3, so more likely it'll be a close game. So he's going to have some pressure on him.
Week 1, it got down to the kicker.
They had that other kicker in the preseason that kicked really well too, so that added a little bit of pressure. Evan McPherson out of Florida, he's got a leg.
Yep. Real quick, and I don't know if I know the answer to this. Did the hometown boy make the team?
He got cut.
He did get cut. Is he on the practice squad?
Drew Chrisman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got cut. I don't think he's on the practice squad yet. I could be wrong about that, but he got cut last week.
Okay. I was wondering. I would think when you're a late cut like that, they usually sign you to the practice squad. unbelievable kicker. But, those jobs are just so few. I mean, you get, what, 30?
32.
32. So,
yeah.
32, I mean, it's hard to kind of get in there. I was fortunate enough to play with one of the best punters in the the NFL's ever seen, him, Brad Maynard, out of Ball State.
Yeah.
I mean, so he was, he was an unbelievable. He made it quite the living there.
Yeah,
so.
one person we forgot to talk about was Mr. Joe Mixon.
Yep.
He's.
What do you think about Joe? I mean,
I don't know, man. The first
we're big fantasy players, and one Joe Mixon, he's all over the board because we don't know what to do with Joe because Joe has all the talent in the world.
He does,
but
he's got the injury.
Now he's got the injury history, and then he's got the line.
Yeah.
So you take those two, and you're like, well, Joe only could do so much because
Because I just think as Joe Mixon goes, I mean, that's going to help Burrow, the dump offs and just blocking and getting those yards that they need.
He's one of the best passing back catchers out of the backfield, I think, that in the NFL. I don't even really. Gio was really expendable because if Joe's healthy, Joe's a 3-down back. We don't need a pass.
Well, they got that Chris Evans kid who caught a nice ball out of the backfield. I think he'll be serviceable, but I'm anxious to see Mixon needs to have. If the Bengals want to have success here, Mixon needs to have a good year, and Burrow needs to stay healthy.
Okay. So I know we had discussed schedules in that earlier episode earlier in the year. Let's just talk specifically about this game. Are you switching gears on your prediction?
I can't even remember what I predicted.
Me neither. So what do you say this time?
I think that the Bengals actually pull this out.
I like it.
I think they win by 4 points. I'm going to go 27-23.
I like that. I like the prediction a lot. I think the Bengals actually tack on another field goal. I think it's 30-24.
30-24.
Okay.
30-24. We're pretty close.
Yeah, 30-24 Bengals. I think are going to get.
Are these homer picks? Are we homering?
I think we are, but you know what? I like it. It's
a
new year.
Yeah.
Hopes are rising. Yeah. Freaking hoo-day, everybody.
Are we going to be down at tailgating tomorrow?
Unfortunately, I'm not.
No?
No. I won't be slinging my T-shirts at the beginning this year. I've got a...
will we be down there at all
we will be this year. Yeah, we will be this year. Maybe our sponsor, I believe, Willoughby Supply, will be hosting us at one point.
But, to speak to that, too, I mean, no tailgating was last year, so I think it'll probably be nuts down there.
Oh, it's going to be. I think
they're probably already out there already.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you right now, I think people didn't get the opportunity to show Joe Burrow love last year because of the pandemic. So everybody's excited. They want to see our shiny new toy up close and personal. So I expected. Did we know that it's a sellout? Correct?
That I don't know.
It better be.
We should have researched that.
We should have, but we don't know.
Man, I can't wait till we hear "Welcome to the Jungle."
My God!
Man, that's giving me goosebumps.
I will tell you this: me and my wife actually, ironically, went to they played the Vikings, and this has been several. This might have been about 10 years ago or 8 years, something crazy, maybe even a little further than that. They played the Vikings. We had 50-yard line, like 6th row. It was crazy, and the Jets coming overhead because the opening game they usually bring up. It was electric. That was such a great game. If my wife's watching at home, what a great game!
I thought you were going to tell me about the Guns N' Roses concert you went to.
That was an excellent concert too.
Okay,
yeah.
Was that at Paul Brown Stadium?
It was at Paul Brown, and again, we were probably 10th row center stage. We almost caught Axel's mic after the concert. He threw. I just butterfingers Roope at it again.
Axel's package.
We did. So, and my wife did get a pic after the concert with the former Guns N' Roses drummer. He had made an appearance there. I forget his name, but anyway. That being said, Houday Nation cannot wait to recap this game with William. And again, there's no fracture between us. Yeah, we're back,
baby.
We're gonna be pumping out a lot of content for our beloved Bengals. We're gonna dive into some other college football and and some basketball too coming up, because obviously we love sports and we love fantasy. That's something we haven't talked about yet this year, but we'll be diving into that too in some future episodes. So we'll see you guys soon.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Who day?